I am sure sports. You know me there, from coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never seen a game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you a go love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Trick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices. Add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
William N. Memorial High School D-Cup Alumni presents its third annual fundraising barbecue on Memorial Day, May 30th, 2022. Wear your favorite jersey to Wilsonwood Park in Mount Vernon, New York. Remember to take exit 12 off the Hutchinson River Parkway. Music by DJ Mad Max of Sound 1000. Proceeds to aid the William N. High School Da Costa Cup team. For more information, contact Keegan 304-607-4034. Our Codfish at 954-639-2991. Proud of people, it's important. Remember, make sure say Ono did that.
Greetings and welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am Manning's man on a very somber day. Very disappointing day for me. You understand me? Things are not pretty at all. Sad news. You understand me? The Gunners were beaten today at St. James Park in Newcastle. 2-0. Like the men who went to war with, Bingy. And them took Bingy to war, not a shot fire. Beer Bingy, I don't understand. Very disappointed. But welcome to the show. Big up. Good to have you. Big up to the sponsors. Launch Legacy, lending a help. Launch Legacy, right? Launch Legacy. Big up yourself. Where they handle risk and seek legacy. So for all your personal insurance needs in Canada and the USA, visit Launch Legacy at launchlegacy.com or call or text them at 647-989-0782. Also, hey, big up going out to Prestige Finance, where they're lending a helping hand when you need it the most. If you need a personal loan of up to $100,000, visit Prestige Finance and they'll help you with that loan at 0 to 4% interest rate. Not only that, but guess what? You'll pay no processing fee and get same day processing. So big up to our sponsors, big up to everyone so far in the comment section. Chris Roman, Alex, Fresh God, Tennessee. I also have with me the regular co-host friend, unseen, Coach Javon Parchment is here in the building. Bless up, welcome. Just some update the two games that were played in the JPL today. The first game, very team result between Veer and Portmore United. Game ended in a 0-0 scoreline. The the second game, Tivoli defeated Moulins United. Tivoli on a roll. Well, the leading, the game is not done yet, but the leading. So, but I think how it looks, Tivoli is going to win that. For those of you who are on our watch along yesterday, the second game, you'd know by now that Waterhouse won by 2-0. So Cavaliers, they play the group leaders tomorrow. They're having some difficulties, as you know, that they had for the Cavaliers team, some persons, 4 of their starters in the first game actually tested positive, and they didn't know that or get the results until just before the game. They had to make those adjustments. So those players were tested again today. So they are going to miss the game. So that's 4 players out of the 20-man squad, which leaves 16. And there are 2 who are questionable in terms of fitness heading into the game. Yeah. So, man. So that is what is happening on that side of the Caribbean Club Championship. We're also coming out in newspapers today, as was expected. Coach Vin Blaine has made a decision to resign the post as head coach of the Jamaica senior Reggae Girlz team. If you have been following that, you would have known that a letter was written and kind of put the program in a little problem. And I think we're at the point now where we need to look at who do we get to replace Vin Blaine. I think we have to get past should he have had the job, all of those things, and get to who are the possible replacements for him and seek to get that done as soon as possible. All right. See also here, Neo Sovereign, big up Chris Roman.
Tivoli score again, man, is one.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Nice free
Tivoli
kick.
3 love now.
Nice free kick.
Yeah.
Beating Pete Harrison.
Second free kick they're scoring, because the second goal was a free kick as well. That was
The first goal was a free kick.
yeah, and the second one was a penalty, right? And the GFF are also planning some camps, right, for the girls to prepare. Also understand that there were some friendlies that were arranged by Coach Vin Blaine against top European nations, and it appears that those friendlies will not take place. So they have to get other friendlies in place to get the program up and running. Really still believe the best for the girl. I still believe that we have, in terms of squad, we have one of the top squad in CONCACAF. And in spite of all of this, I still have hope that we have enough quality if we organize ourselves to go ahead. I think, and I've said this before, in as much as I don't agree with how it was done, I think the captain is going to stand up and be counted for. I think she realized that there's a whole lot on her shoulders, and she will have to make this right in the eyes of the Jamaican people, I think. And I think she's ready to carry that burden. At the same time, we also wish Coach Vin Blaine and the coaching staff, because it's not just Coach Vin Blaine who will be out of a job, but all the other persons who are on that coaching staff, they will also be relieved of their duty. And I think that is one of the reasons why Coach Blaine has not, like, everything has not been finalized. He's waiting on the arrangements for his support staff to be completed. All right. So that's something to look at, right? Where do we go from here? Right? He said, I had already decided that I would resign, so there was no need to meet. This was done in the best interest of the team going forward. This is Vin Blaine. All right. There is an arrangement for the staff to be taken care of before I really put in my resignation letter. But my resignation is definitely going to take place, Blaine told the Gleaner. All right. So that is what is happening where that is concerned. Neo says, um, uh, disappointed it had to be this way, but it is what it is. Yeah, I think so. You understand me? Um, you know, bless up New Wave Entertainment. Omar Fowlin asking about the FIFA representative. I think I think what is happening is a lot of the things that you have heard the JFF talking about is really what is in the reconstructed constitution and bylaws. For example, you know that they have spoken about increasing the number of votes from 13 to 61. So I think these are the things. The amazing thing that what I am hearing is um, regardless of the views that we have, when FIFA comes, it seemed like the JFF pass, on the scene. Like
You know,
whatever they used to measure and score, the JFF administration is passing in FIFA's eyes. But in the eyes of us, the public, it failing.
yeah, they fade in our eyes,
Yeah, in our eyes, right?
but
So that
they
is what
pass it in the FIFA eyes.
Yeah, but interesting things are going to come out of this. A lot of things are going to change, I think, coming out of this for the next elections that are going to come up at the back end of this year, right? And right, so don't you could see more persons voting in the elections. So that is going to be interesting how that pans out. So, and more persons may qualify to also get into the elections, right? When Jim depends on outside sources to fund. Yeah, that's what happened. If you give people, the people who put the money in normally has the talk unseen. Vin can go back coach the team when go where in now go nowhere in another island. All right, okay, Omar Foley, that's your opinion, but the man has resigned. I don't know, but I tell you, bizarre situation indeed, Chris Roman. Bless up, I am respect. New Wave, yeah, man. Always thank for the support. So, management, they resign. I just read it, sir. All right. So this is something I'm actually reading. Lenworth Dwayne. This is from the Gleaner. Um, today it says Blaine has not yet handed in his resignation, saying he was waiting on the JFF to complete the process of compensating his staff. Quote, I had already decided that I would resign. So there was no need to meet. In other words, there was no need for him to meet with the JFF. This was done in the best interest of the team going forward. There is an arrangement for the staff to be taken care of before I really put in my resignation letter. But my resignation is definitely going to take place. End of quote. All right. So if that doesn't answer it, Sir Dewey, then I don't know. All right. Oh, you say FIFA have a minimum requirement. They don't care if the JFF is successful. Oh, as long as I see. So there's like, I see. So when people say they pass, right, unseen, I think what Neo is saying, right, Neo, is that when you say they pass, what it means is that they have met the minimum requirement. It doesn't mean that they are doing well. It just means that they could be at the foundation.
You can, the barely is scraping through. Simple.
Well, we don't know that they're barely scraping through, but they're meeting at least the bare minimum. I think that is what Neil is suggesting.
Maybe when them audit them, then pass the audit is a financial
It's not
aspect
just
of it.
financial, it's all the other things. What I'd love to know is that I want to know if FIFA puts out a document that kind of outlines what they come here and assess, what they come here and check with the JFF. So people like, we can know. We can know what are the things that they are passing
Assess
on.
if the leagues, if the leagues are functioning properly. So
It
also,
trust me, it cannot be that alone FIFA doing.
the
There
leagues,
must be more.
auditing youth development and girls also.
One of the questions I want to ask is, now that it is basically official, where should the girls program go from here?
But I don't think they will pass in the girls department though because there's no league. No
No, man,
league.
what I mean is that why, no, what I'm asking and seeing is that where do we go from here, like in terms of who should be now employed to take on the job, coaching the girls going forward? Should the JFF meet with the girls along with this technical committee or the leaders and say how does it go? Have people applied? Who are these people? Should the process be transparent so we can know who are some of the people out there, and people can go and check their qualifications, or that is an in-house thing? Neo, if you can come on and help us with some of those things, that would be good.
Nice
Big up,
man.
go ahead and see it.
Transparency is the best way forward, but you know that is not going to happen. A lot of things are going to be done behind closed door. I don't
Yeah.
think, knowing JFF, I don't think they are going to go to any girls. They're just going to select somebody based on what they think. Especially, remember uh, the technical committee is responsible for vetting coaches, their credentials and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, it's up to them and their panel there who is going to do that. And I think some of the persons that are in the panel are responsible for the girls team. So maybe they talk for the girls.
Okay.
Right.
Why are other YouTubers reacting as if the JFF did not publicly state FIFA is working with them for restructuring? Yeah, but FIFA did say, that's what I'm saying. If you remember when Dalton Wynn did the interview and Mike Ricketts did the interview, they did speak to that, that they are trying to change the amount of vote and they have been working with FIFA. So this is not
Yeah, and
something
Speed
that
said
is,
that.
yeah, this is not something that is new. This is something that is ongoing. So I don't know why, Gina, because I don't know what the other persons have said. So in fairness to them, I can't really speak to what they have said. So that is it. But Unseen, do you have anyone in mind?
For the girls.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Who you think that, okay, this person should be given an opportunity to coach the team right now, and they would be the best person to bring the team to the next stage or pass the next stage in this tough group that we are in?
Uh, I don't really, I don't really follow the girls coach, on his one.
Okay.
So locally, I would think Andrew Price locally and Xavier, but I
Xavier,
don't.
you'd give Xavier a shot after the U20 team?
You
I'm
can't
just
really,
asking.
but
Locally, you think
locally. That's what I'm saying. Locally.
yeah, but I'm
If,
thinking if they were, if based on the content of the letter, do you think the girls really think someone locally could do that? I don't think so.
I
I
don't
don't
think
think.
so, but I'm just giving the persons who I think is competent for the girls team locally.
Okay, all right.
And
Anyone
you have
who is not
Marin,
local.
you have Marin Gardner also, but I think Marin Gardner will be.
All right, but give me some names. So it's just be a local people.
Um, the one who got fired before the previous one.
No one was fired. Anybody? JFF don't really fire. People normally
The
resign.
one who resigned before.
Who you
What's
mean
his name
is?
again? Yes.
Okay. There's a brother and sister, right?
Right.
That they used to run Leicester. I think I tell you guys already. They used to run like Leicester before Leicester City bought it. They have been to Jamaica, you know, a couple of times, you know, and their coaches, they used to coach that team back in the days. And they have connections to Jamaica. Very good coach. There's somebody out of England. You have Lauren Donaldson as well.
Yeah, Lauren Donaldson.
You know, you have Brian Wallace, who we interviewed. So those are some names out there. This King Jam says, I'd love to see the new coach's approach. Will he pamper the girls, or will he rule with an iron fist? I'm not sure. I am not sure. Yeah, but and then Brain Drain says, in the NBA, star players are asked for input prior to hiring a new coach. Yeah,
What is one? Red card again.
More lines?
No. Somebody, Penny Cook red card.
Whoa. Yeah, but Brain Drain. All right. But how many of the organizations really do this though? And I don't know, Brain Drain. I think if you do this, sometimes you put yourself at risk. Because would you go to the Reggae Boys and ask them who? You see, we're really dealing with the women football a little bit different. I don't know if you realize. We give the girls a lot of latitude. Because I don't think we would give the females, the male, this sort of latitude to kind of be involved in the process of selecting a coach. So I think we need to use, I don't know if that is the best strategy, but I think if the girls have somebody in mind, I would suggest that they would ask the person to apply for the job. Omar Falling, you have to come correct, you know. You can't say, if you want to suggest somebody, get the lady that used to coach the USS. You have to give us the name. Give us the name, man. Come on. All right. Are the new U20 calls up? Who are you guys most excited to have a look at? Unseen, you want to take the U20? Brethren, Tivoli win the game, man. Leave the game, man.
No, I'm looking on Jerry. That's the score, so.
3-1.
Yeah, 3-1. Still the red card, yeah?
How much time leave now?
About 3 minutes or 2 minutes. Added minutes.
Yeah, man. So take that one, Unseen.
All right. So of the new U20 call-ups, who are you guys most excited to have a look at? So everybody wants to see how the John Whisper will perform in that, you know, training camp, and also I would love to see Matthew Baker. I would love to see Matthew Baker, and the player there from Malaga City. What's his name again, man? Is on
from Malaga City. His name is Julian Davidson.
Okay.
FC Malaga City.
That's in Spain, right?
FC Malaga City.
Yeah.
You can check. I'll really see here now. Hold on. You're looking forward to seeing Whisper. What about Donahue Mitchell? That is.
Donahue Mitchell was in Spain too. I really see that with them. So,
yeah.
Heard that he's smooth, you know, calm on the ball, passes the ball well, read the game well, you know, black passing lanes well. Looking forward to see him as well. You know, so there are actually 3 Phoenix players, but, you know, one is named for their club in Germany, which is Fortuna Köln. Or Fortuna Köln. Oh, the spelling is wrong. One is one. Fortuna, you know, not Fortuna. Fortuna.
Fortuna.
Köln.
Cologne. I think that's the name how they pronounce it.
Yeah. Or Köln. German, them are different.
Yeah, man. It's you talk Koln.
Yes. Cologne.
Yeah.
I've seen Kamali Powell already, you know, and him and Matthew Baker is from the same club over there in Germany. Oh, FC Malaga City is an academy in Spain.
Yeah, CC, just Google that, man. But we don't. What happened is that we don't know because they have other academies in different like they have one in New York, I believe, you know. So you don't know if he's stationed at the one in New York. You understand what I mean?
Right.
Somebody saying that coach Jerome Miller is the best option locally. I'm sure he'll do well if he's given the chance, my opinion. But I don't think he has the level B now.
No.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the U20 a little bit. All right. So the coach really, if the coach has a full-time job at Waterhouse, right? Unseen.
Right.
Unseen, you can come on the thing. You're busy, you know, man.
No, man.
He has a full-time job. All right. His team qualifies. He should have had an assistant coach, and that is no fault of the head coach. He should have had an assistant coach that can stay. He doesn't. All right? Should he have been away? Of course. Because when the U20 is finished, he goes back to his
original job.
His job. So that is why he should have been given an assistant. You can't blame him for going to the tournament. You have to blame the federation for not having an assistant coach that he could have left in charge with a program for the players who are here.
But man is one.
I put that squarely at the feet of the federation. Let me go a little further.
But who is responsible for that in the federation?
Who is responsible?
Yes.
Maybe the technical committee. Must be the technical committee.
Must be the technical committee.
Yeah. But let's go a little further. The technical director apparently will be the person in charge of the team, who is Wendell Downswell. Think who we're speaking to recently, and they were saying that the technical director, Andrew Edwards, on Friday was saying technical directors can coach the team, but they are not really supposed to do it because that's not their core function.
Right.
Right? So I that's my thing. I think yeah, I think the technical director will be here. Ideally, the assistant coach should be here. Because I don't know if the technical director is now doing what because the technical director is really higher than the head coach in hierarchy, right? So will the technical director carry out the program of the coach? That's the question I'd love.
But man, I've heard that the head coach left some, topics and some work that the under 20 team should carry out for this training camp.
Yeah, but he would not know. Like the head coach would have not worked with some of these players, Some of the players who are coming into the team, like the Jaden Anderson. Has he worked with him? Has he worked? You understand me? So Justine Francis. Because you have Rohan Brown, I think that is a stats player. So I don't know how many of the players that he has worked with. So how are you going to leave a training program in place if you have not worked with some of the players who are coming? It's a little bit complicated for me. So I would say let the under 20 coach go. However, the under 20 coach should have been given an assistant coach that has his philosophy, has his mindset, who is going to work with him in the tournament, because the technical director may not be on the bench to give the coach direction. The assistant coach will be there. So he should be here, right? He should be here. Now, I am when you begin to see this squad being called up, I think some of these players, I would want to believe that the players who are coming in at the back end of the camp, because there's also Ethan Foles, who he's going to be in Jamaica. I don't know if he's going to be, I think he's reaching here on Friday. So obviously there's going to be other camps, right? So this is not the last camp. So other players, I know that there is at least one player out of England, but I think it's very complex because the player is here on family related business, but he probably can't even train. So he probably have to go to England and come back to really train with the team. I don't know. I just feel like this whole thing is getting so confusing. You know, like maybe somebody from the JFF need to come in and speak directly to this. Wendell Downswell is the technical director, so he's the person here coaching. All right. Hey,
mornings, man. Hansi, what's up?
Big up yourself.
I like your jersey. You're wearing the wrong one. Oh no, you don't have any of the right one.
Listen, let me tell you a story about my jersey, okay?
Go ahead.
I purchased my jersey from Macy's.
Macy's
Department store.
Macy's department store?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Go figure.
It's the only one they had?
The only one that would fit me. Listen, it's not the only one. I'm assuming other people can purchase it there too. I don't want to promote on the show since I'm not going to give you a cut of the advertisement. But to my great surprise, they had it available. You know, there was a time during the boys campaign that we just couldn't get any of the jersey, and then all of a sudden, towards the end of the Umbro deal, it is now available at Macy's amongst other places. So I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah, that is interesting. But welcome here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can explain. When explain some of the stuff that I've been asking. Let's go back to that, people. Well, let's go back to what we were discussing first, and maybe you can share that with me. When FIFA comes, right, and they do their checks, they do their evaluation and stuff. All right. Is there ever like failing grade?
Well, I mean, FIFA has given they have given other federations failing grades. I know some of the African nations, you know, listen, FIFA is here because the JFF had some issues, right? I don't think they just go around all the time checking the different federations. I think that there were issues going on with the JFF, and FIFA had contacted them before and required them to make changes because whether or not there was a complaint, whether or not FIFA on its own, because of its own investigation, saw issues, right? The point is that all of these federations have to meet a basic minimum set of requirements in order to do business with FIFA, right? And so it is my understanding that this restructuring is FIFA saying, you know, demanding compliance from JFF with respect to, you know, the changes if they're going to continue to be recognized as a federation for Jamaica. That's my understanding of it. I mean, I may be wrong about that.
But this isn't the first time, because they were here in the pandemic. FIFA also came during the time of the pandemic. I think it was 2020 or 2021, one of those.
Yeah.
And that was a financial audit, and they did the whole audit, and you know the JFF came out and said they had passed the audit and whatever.
Yeah, man, I think they do audits, right? But as I said before, I think that there are ongoing issues that, you know, there are ongoing issues that people have with the way the JFF is being run. And you know, and it's not only just the JFF, to be fair. To be fair, you know, they wanna do this check on federations that have problems, to make sure that they meet the requirements. After all, FIFA's name is on the line. They're sending money to people, and they're saying if you want to continue to be recognized and receive this money, you have to meet a certain basic requirement. I think there was no secret that the current bylaws that are there have flaws in them. I can't recall particular newspaper articles, but the president himself has admitted that things need to change with the bylaws. I think, like I said before on my little show there, that they made contact with some people in Jamaica who are associated with track and field attorneys and businessmen to come on board to help them to change issues with their bylaws so that they could come into compliance with FIFA.
Yeah, as a Karim Grant saying, the JFF said that they reached out to FIFA for this restructuring. I think he said Almost Certain Speed had mentioned this some time ago. So it is not like FIFA are coming to check, but they reached out to FIFA and said, listen, we are doing reconstructing our constitution. Is that?
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, that's not the way I understood it. The way I understood it is that they are being required to do these things, right? I think, look, FIFA itself, remember FIFA was prosecuted, right? FIFA itself had problems. And so basically they're trying to make sure that they, keep the federations in check. Some of the federations in the African nations, I can't recall which ones in particular, had issues with their bylaws, had issues with the way they were governing. And FIFA went down, went to their countries and said, listen, either you comply, you get rid of people, you make changes, or else, you're not going to receive any money from us and we won't recognize you. I can't say that's exactly what's going on here, but I don't, if my memory serves me correctly, I don't think that this is a case where the DFF is inviting people to come to say, hey, look, we're making these changes. I think it's a matter of people saying, have you made the changes that are required of you or that you promised to me? I think that's what's going on here. I could be wrong, but that's my impression of what's happening.
Yeah. Whoa. All right. I see. Greetings, management and guests. How about the coach that you interviewed, a former Reggae Girl? I believe she's at Navarro College out there in Texas. Her name is Alicia Dredd Wilson. I don't know. I think she probably could work as an assistant coach. I think that's a good shout. Maybe if whoever gets the job, they could look at her. But who I would love to see coach the team. I don't know if the federation can afford it, but there's a coach called Brian Penske. He coaches at the University of Tennessee. He was at University of Tennessee during Bonnie Shaw time. He was the coach there. University of Tennessee has one of the very better female programs. He just went to, I think, Florida State or University of Florida, one of those two. I think he just signed a new contract with. I think he would be a good, if we could get him, he would be good because he worked with Bonnie Shaw. He'll be coaching Jody Brown this season in NCAA, but can Jamaica afford him? But I think he'd be a very, very good coach because he has had a successful female program. In fact, there's a 10-year contract that he just signed that they wanted, that he was supposed to sign, and he left and went to the University of Florida. So that's a next shout out there. But I also, just for persons who are here, we just got some breaking information as well, Neil. Mm-hmm. That with the under 20, because you're on the stream on Friday when Andrew Edwards, you asked the question, can the technical director coach? I think it was down that line, and he's saying that yes, he can, but really that's not his function. I think that was his response in a nutshell. And then you said, you get your answer. I think that was the right.
because I mean, I think you know, FIFA has a handbook, right, where they describe the function of the technical director. And so, while the handbook does not um, prohibit the technical director from coaching, that's not the role that the technical director is, really designed. That position is not really designed for him to be that type of coach. And the truth is that under ordinary circumstances, the technical director who is in charge of really the technical development, and the development of the players nationwide, usually the technical director's hands is so filled that he really wouldn't have time to
His
do
hand
that.
should be so filled.
Well, that's what I am saying. His hand should be so filled. No, I know Mr. Downswell has been a coach in the past. He's obviously very qualified, to coach. I don't know, but what was his last coaching position? When last has he actually coached a team?
The last time
I
I think the last team he coached would have been Reno.
and what year was that? Recently?
Before the pandemic. I think he's still finding out things in Jamaica, especially in football, can be a mystery.
I mean, as I said, it's weird because like
I think he I don't know if he owns Reno, but when Reno is in competition, he coaches. He's a part of the coaching. I don't know if that's a technical director job, or so that is the thing. You never really sometimes clearly understand how the coaching.
I mean, in terms of the rank of the officials at the JFF, the technical director should be maybe number 3 or number 4. You understand, in terms of their authority and stature in the organization. Nevertheless, ideally it is. I don't really. Ideally, I don't think that would be something that he would be doing, but maybe he believes that he can do a very good job and that this is very important, so much so that he has to take it upon himself to do it. As you pointed out, I think that since we already have a coach, him going there as a quote unquote assistant, it's I mean, how he's not going to be an assistant, he's going to be in charge, right?
That's what I'm thinking. If you're a part of the committee that appoints the coach, whose thing do you execute when you run the sessions? Your idea?
But one question, Mannings.
But let me just say this, because we just got this breaking news.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want me to give that or you want to go first.
I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
And it will lead feedback into Wendell Downswell and his role right now. What was Rene Simo's title and role at the point of time when he was here?
Rene Simoes was the coach first.
Was the coach first. And then the what?
He became technical director.
And he was still coaching the team, right?
When he was technical director, was he still coaching?
I mean, and let me just, I mean, obviously, CC.
Because wasn't Carl Brown coaching and Rene Simoes the technical director when he became the technical director? I think there was some sort of transition.
I'm saying to you that between the period, it's just how Jamaican football is between the period of 94 and 2000. What was Rene Simo's title or role with the team?
Right. Since then, though, CC, FIFA has really updated the role of the technical director. So whatever happened back then, right, really is not
relevant. I can't have no.
Of a modern technical director. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is, as Manning's man is pointing out, I think that Simoes, his technical director duties was something that he really took on when he was not coaching the team. You understand? So it's because what is the role of technical director, CC? The technical director is supposed to manage the development of the game throughout the island. You're supposed to make sure that the fields are good, that the coaches are trained. You know, they're supposed to be tracking the youth teams, setting up camps, doing all of these things. You know, I don't know. What was that? What Samois was doing, or was Samois merely saying, "This is the vision, this is the type of football that I believe Jamaica should play." You know, so as I said, it's a different role to be a modern technical director. And even if you look back at what Samois was doing, yes, he was trying to create that vision for us, but I don't think he quite fulfilled the role of technical director even back then.
Someone was doing two jobs.
Yeah, I guess Manning's one talk, but as I said though, if you really look at I think it's just the way our organization is set up, right? For example, if you look at the USSF, they don't have a technical director; they have a sporting director. So they have like a CEO and they have several other stuff, and then they have a
Yeah,
sporting
but the
director.
functions are the same.
No,
Like,
but I'm saying to you, man,
yeah,
sometimes it's not even say functions. For example, we have president, they have CEO,
yeah, but
right?
but we have a prime minister. The US don't have so
No, man, the
sometimes
US is all right. For example, then let's go to the UK. The UK, the president of the FA for the UK is who?
the president. I don't know.
It's a non-operational role basically, because the president is the prince.
For CC,
The
I think
Prince William is the president.
for
Then they have
CC,
Yeah.
chairman, CEO, and down for. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying to you that it is just the same. So the
So
de facto head of the FA is the prince, and then you have the chairman and the
yeah.
other like personnel, CEO, and different.
So
Um,
what are you suggesting?
right, I'm
Guide me
going
up.
to relate that back
Yeah,
to the point though.
so I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah.
what
That's what
I'm
I'm trying to
suggesting
say.
is even in our system, right? That is why I said that depending on if you want control, if you want to wrestle a bit of not saying control, but if things should go awry and somebody should take over the FA, I think it would have been the prince who steps in and adjust certain things and then the restructure. But then I'm saying with our structure we set it up, we
Yeah.
could have the president being a de facto head. If you said the governor general that we have right now, or you have a de facto head, not necessarily the governor general, but somebody else, and then they have a chairman, CEO, and they run it
CC,
like a business. So the
CC,
president himself is not necessarily the
CC.
person who
FIFA
is.
will not allow that.
So all FIFA allow the Prince William to
Well,
be the
because
head of the
probably
FA.
because that is England and FIFA can't change it because that was way before. But it's easier to change smaller. But the people they keep on saying that. Hold on. Let me just drop the
I'm
breaking news,
lost.
CC, because I want to match
Tennessee
this.
won the news. Can you
Yeah,
remember
we want to
battle?
match this, CC. Let me drop the breaking
Yeah,
news.
man,
All right.
continues.
Yeah. So the breaking news is it is just been reported that Lee Craft Letman will be leading the under 20 camp starting tomorrow morning, which means he is going to be at least the or one of the assistant coaches. So that's why I was saying that maybe the whole technical director coaching the team discussion may not be, relevant again. If
Right, maybe.
tomorrow
Yeah.
Lee Craft Letman is the present coach at Mobile United. He also coach at Cornwall College, operates an academy down there in Montego Bay as well, and coaches at a couple of other schools. So that's what we just heard, that he will be heading into Kingston, or he's in Kingston, and he will be taking over the reins from the whomever run the sessions today, but he'll be going forward, and this is suggesting that if not the only one, he's going to be at least one of the coaches with the under 20 team, which I think is a better arrangement, because I can't see why we would have our technical director operating in this capacity when the football itself needs grassroots development and restructuring.
Right.
I think, yeah, because what I've noticed is that almost all the trips that we have gone on, the technical director has gone. So the technical director was with the U17 girls, he was with the U20 girls, and when the boys travel, he travels, right? So that is why I want to know how
Yeah, 'cause
important is he to the day-to-day coaching of the senior teams?
the modern technical director, as described in the FIFA handbook, is the brains of the footballing operation.
So he normally has to go.
Yeah, man, he has to go. He's supposed to be analyzing all of this stuff and advising the coaches. In other words, he has this function where really is an executive function where he is, advising the coaches as to which players are doing what their performance is like. You know, he's supposed to be one of the, apart from the head coach, he's supposed to be the guy behind the theory, behind the style, behind the development of our football.
So if the team is not playing good or don't have a system, that's really the technical director.
Well, actually, what part? So this, I mean, the way I understand it is that basically the technical director is responsible, for the grassroots development for the island or whatever, and he can consult with head coaches who come. Like everybody said, well, what system does Jamaica play? The technical director really, in consultation with the head coach, should be trying to implement a system island wide. You understand, by making sure that there's a certain standard of play, that there are certain standards that the coaches abide by, etc. Now, a head coach might come and want to play a system that is different from what the technical director wants, right? But as I said before, it's really a consultation, and that whereas the technical director, whereas the coach is there for 4 years and maybe his contract might be renewed. I think ideally my understanding is that you would probably have a technical director that is going to probably be there for even longer than the coach to see that certain things are implemented, right? So, the two of them, the head coaches and the technical director, are supposed to be working together, consulting each other.
And the technical committee also.
Yeah, I mean, the technical committee, is, again, this is my understanding. The technical committee is, they also have that capacity on a policy level, right? They're not really out there on the ground doing some of the things, like I said, setting up coaching schools, doing all of these standards. But on a policy level, they're supposed to be also, I think, advising the technical director in terms of policy, how the football is supposed to be developed.
How many persons constitute the technical committee? Because we only know two persons, the technical director and the chairman.
I mean, listen.
Remember, I called some names, man. In the meeting, who are part of the technical committee, but I won't say those names here.
Yeah, the truth is,
Why?
I don't remember exactly how much it is, but I know it's more than.
Remember, the meeting, he talked about, they called some names with the Winblaine saga, who are a part of the technical committee.
Yeah, so why you can't call those names?
You call him, man. You know.
No, I don't know. No, seriously, I don't know. Send them to me. Call them, man.
But tell us, Jamaica Secret Society, they initiate and see it look like,
I
look
don't
like
know.
you get initiated.
Who are the other persons on the technical committee? Because the people I'm familiar with is Speed and Downswell. Because I'd love to know, because if the other persons are not footballing people, are they part of the decision? For example, if you have a person who is a banker who has never been in football, when you're making a decision to hire the coach or a technical director, are they a part of the decision?
Well,
because are they a part of the financial decision?
I think
How does it work?
The board of directors, I believe, and the president would participate in selecting the people who serve on the technical committee, right? So between those two executive functions, that is the president and the board of directors, they're going to be selecting people who, in their you know, in their minds, are capable of playing that policy role on the technical committee. Does a
Hey.
person have to be a footballer and really know a lot about, you know, meaning, do they have to be somebody who we know to be a footballer, or could it be somebody who, you know, they have assessed that person and interviewed them and feel like they can do this job?
Okay.
I think
All
that
right.
is.
So,
I think that's what matters.
So the one that was said, I call
yeah.
and see no
Manage, man.
who name Omar and see no what him see license. Of course,
All right.
probably see license.
I think we're gonna get a comment from somebody who probably know the members of the technical committee.
Yeah, man.
Manage.
Losing manager.
But man is man, remember the people them on you're the credential of the assistant coach. You know?
Oh, hold on.
Yes,
All right, so get the credential
move
assistant
too
coach, but we have
fast.
the losing manager in the building.
Just listen to show, you know. Ilian Walker Brown for the technical committee.
And Ilian Walker Brown, Rudolph Speed, Wendell Downswell.
I remember the next 3 person. I remember the next 4 person.
4 more or 7 person? Peart is Peart in
7
it.
person. Yeah, Pierce is on it as well. Pierce is on it.
Dennis Chung.
I don't know. I don't remember, but I know those 4 persons are on it. Downswell, Speed, Ilian Walker Brown, and Andrew Pierce. Some an next football person is on it. I don't remember his name. But when I remember, I will tell you.
Okay. Okay.
Barry Watson, I think Barry Watson. Barry Watson.
Somebody said Barry Watson.
No.
Yeah, him they call a name every two.
No, me not think Barry Watson is on it. Barry Watson from Manchester.
Yes.
No, I'm not thinking about it. What's that?
But man is man, remember, I think him call a name there. They was in the meeting of the technical committee met and him call the name of the person in there.
Fresh God said Horace Reed is on it.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
No,
Horace Reed.
Horace Reed for the technical committee, brother. Stop.
No, and me never say no.
That would be a joke.
Brian, that's him, Brian. Me never say
No, Horace, brother. No, Horace Reed for the ball.
There is a famous name there.
But Horace Reed work with CONCACAF or something.
Yeah, CONCACAF.
Okay, it would be good to know all the persons.
But me I said, Mannings, based on what me I see here, so in terms of the role of the technical director, if the footballing program fail, I technical director at the pan.
I think based on Neil's definition, that's what I'm saying. It's not really if all the national team failing, it's not the national coaches.
I director. I technical director.
Hold on. Let's get it straight. Let me just straighten this out, right? What I'm saying is that the development of the football island-wide, meaning you know, having good coaches, having good pitches, the amount of games that are
Hold on. All right, hold on. Sorry, we have to put a fresh guard comment.
That I'm looking at.
No, hold on, Neil, don't lose your point. We have to just put a fresh guard comment. Fresh guard said, me never say him dead there. Me ask a question, brother. Jesus, peace. Continue, Neil.
but all me, no one mash up all the government.
All right, go ahead.
No. The thing is, you know, hold on, Neil. The thing is, you know, let me tell you. To be honest, you see, sometimes when we're on the stream and one thing, sometimes we say some things that are jet, you know, and the people them take with serious prejudice.
Well, it's true.
So yes. So that's why when I say that, brother, you have to just stop you and say, yo, no, cause probably a joke you're making about sometimes the people them take with serious.
Okay.
Why everybody just mash up speed? So we don't know.
All right, me I said, Mannings, I'm gonna tell you what me that's it.
Hold on. Yeah, it break up, Brian. So hold on. All right, Neil, finish. Let me Neil finish what he was saying, and then you come in, CC.
Yeah, man. I was just saying that, you know, you have to distinguish the two roles between the head coach and the technical director. Now, I'm not saying that if the Reggae boys don't qualify, then it's the technical director's fault. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the technical director is really, you know, we argue on these streams all the time about the team and its selection, but we also argue about what's going on locally in terms of what is being done to develop the game on the island to ensure that the local players, the local base players, are getting the best chance, to develop and matriculate to bigger clubs or stuff like that. And so what I'm saying is that domestic development, the grassroots development, is something that would be in the purview of the technical director, whereas qualifying the teams for international competition would be something that would be in the purview of the head coach. Now, both of them will have to work together. You understand? Because look, a lot of us say that in order for us to have a successful World Cup team, we have to start with a bunch of teenagers. Maybe we're going to start with them 8 years before the actual World Cup that we want to get to, right? And so I'm saying that those people would have passed through the development processes that the technical director has put into place, and so he would have gotten them way before presumably the head coach would get them. You understand? So that's the sort of relationship I believe that they have from my reading.
So,
Okay.
Go
ahead, CC.
Yeah, so basically what I'm saying is what I see here. There's this section I'm going to read. This is the responsibility of the Ghana FA technical director. Those two are the responsibilities. He's responsible for the preparation and implementation of technical programs at the grassroots, juvenile, and national teams, thereby preparing football coaches and footballers for the future. And the next thing is he is required to build the capacity of the technical directorate of the association, which would be like the technical committee, that will include but not limited to the following departments: coach education, referee education, talent identification, performance analysis, technical studies and video analysis, health and nutrition, sports psychology, strength and conditioning, and sports medicine. So if this is the Ghana FA technical director, and I see a lot of others
I think FIFA gave. I think that is a FIFA
from the FIFA
stipulation right across the board.
Yeah, that's
so it is what FIFA expects of all technical directors, wherever you're operating. Right, Neil?
That's right. That's the modern. That's what they want the technical directors to be, and they have made special provisions for funding of that position in the different federations.
So if Mannings, if this is the mandate for the position, and we are looking at our coaches, then we look at our local coaches and we say, all right, the highest license right now is what, the CONCACAF A license and B license, and we look at it at the spectrum and say, how many coaches have said licenses? How many what are the strength when they come on to strength and conditioning?
Well, what they will tell you is that what they will tell you is that in terms of the coaching thing, because how long has he been in this capacity? I think I don't know how long he has been, but they will tell you that in terms of the coaching qualification, they have started the program for that. They are going to say that, which is true. That's why they have the D license, the C license, and they have now coaches doing the B license. They are going to use that. But so let's look at the other things, because that one.
There's another statement that says talent identification.
Well, I think that one we can talk about.
The talent identification. So that is where I'm thinking that that's a key point where we're not really seeing that. Like, what's the method of talent identification going forward? So yes, you've started with the coaching education. I think they have started some form of referee education as well.
Right, and let me just address that for a little bit, because I think if you recall, CC, we heard Mr. Swede talking about the coaching school and the programs that were being set up, right? I may be wrong, but I think that Downswell was involved in that process, and I think I mentioned to Mannings that it's a pity that we don't know what Mr. Downswell is doing as a technical director, because
he did outline it doing here when I did the interview with him,
Right there it is. I didn't, to be honest with you, I missed that interview. I'm just saying that I wish we knew more about what he was doing, because I'm certain, well, I don't want to say I'm certain, but the lack of knowledge about what he's actually doing will draw, I believe, some criticism that, well, he's not doing enough. We don't know what's going on. So I'm just saying that there is a danger there. But as I pointed out to Manning's, the technical director role is pivotal. So when you see somebody like Coach Vin Blaine being a technical director, or who is it, Coach Edwards being a technical director, I mean, those are positions, that means that these guys have really good experience. I mean, as I said, when it comes to the hierarchy of football on an island or anywhere in a country, the technical director is pretty high, to the top of the food chain.
Yeah, I think you made a very good point. I think someone said it up there earlier. Putting up that comment. But could it be that he's really doing a lot of these things, but because we see Speed more,
right?
One, we blame him for everything because he speaks for everybody.
That's true.
He says probably things that he should not be responding to, but we ask him the questions. So like a person like Donzel who doesn't speak a lot, he could be, because Speed, as far as I know, don't teach even the courses. It's Peart, but Peart, you don't hear from Peart often.
Right.
It's Peart and the same Speed teach the courses.
The one that you did.
Yeah,
but
most of
Donzel did the one in Western Jamaica, in Montego Bay.
Yeah, but Speed go all over too and make sure everything is okay.
Yeah, but does he actually teach the courses on scene?
Yeah, man, he teach me.
But you know what I want to know, man? This is the next thing that I want to know. Even if we reach a level where it says CONCACAF A license, right? You realize that if you were to get a job in, say, for example, the MLS, or even quite possibly the USL, you would have to do a USSF license.
Why?
No. I don't know.
So that's what I'm saying. Uniformity. Yeah, but I'm saying the uniformity. Even though it says CONCACAF license, it's really Caribbean license.
No,
because I'm telling you,
no. CC.
Stop that.
They did say that when you do the so if you were supposed to go,
I'm not sure something after I say it, man. All
right, so fine. If you were to go to the USA, because it's a CONCACAF license, not a Caribbean license, you can be exempt from those things when you're doing your license in the US.
When you're doing a next license?
A next level. So, for example, if you go to the US with the CONCACAF A license, you don't have to start at the lowest level in the US football. You don't have to. Same thing with the UEFA, so I don't...
No, I understand.
But CC, in college, CC, do you know that there are people who complete their studies in Jamaica, and when they go overseas, even for jobs, they have to go back and do some other things?
That's why money depends on what you're doing. For example, if you want to be an accountant and you want to be it in the US, you do CPA. So when you go over there, you don't necessarily do nothing else.
But CC, that point is irrelevant when you look at it, because why would I go and do remember, I cannot go and just do the license in Europe. It's not like it's available for you to go and do it.
No, I know. I'm saying to you, what I'm saying is that CONCACAF is supposed to be US, Mexico, the Caribbean region. And hold on, and if look at it now, the highest license you have a license named CONCACAF A license. However, the USSF license supersedes the CONCACAF A license.
I don't, but
how CC? How do you get that the US license supersede the CONCACAF A?
Because you cannot coach a team in the US without.
Of course.
Having the US A license.
The CONCACAF license.
No, CC. The CONCACAF. No, what you can say, CC. What you can say is that if you have that, they will not hire you. In other words, CC, can you drive with a Jamaican driver's license in the USA?
For 90 days.
For 90 days.
No, that is a Jamaican driver's license. It's not a CONCACAF driver's license.
CC,
follow
what
the point, CC. So CC, you can get a job with your license.
So, Manning, I'm asking you a
A
question.
license.
So,
What they will do again, they will say, so you come there with a CONCACAF A license.
Say that man, put up the comment with Steve James. Okay,
huh?
Stephen James put up something saying can read it.
My question is this: the UEFA, right?
See there, but CC, but the CONCACAF new license is replacing everything that the USA have on Mexico.
Right.
You know?
All right, okay. The UEFA. This is
UEFA,
what I want to ask you, Mannings. Was this something that they said that the CONCACAF A license will replace?
CC.
Remember that
and
USA is different. You know? They write it. The USA operates differently.
CC. CONCACAF is trying to get football. What I'm saying to you, CC, is that CONCACAF, this is not a Jamaican initiative. Because remember, Jamaica had their own coaching courses called Level 1 and Level 2.
No, I know that.
Hold on. CONCACAF went to all the Caribbean nations, all the CONCACAF nations, and said to them, we need to have one coaching course where you can move amongst CONCACAF with the license. Right. So we are going to replace everything that all of you have over time. And so, in fact, part of their plan is that when you have the CONCACAF Pro license, they want to make sure that they can even use that to coach in Europe. But though you may go in Europe and they may say, listen, your pro license doesn't involve optical surgery.
The UEFA Pro license. Can you coach a team in the US MLS with the UEFA Pro license only?
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
No, you have to get the USSF license, Pro license as well.
But CC, you're missing the point. CC, all right. Here's what I'm missing, CC. CC, here's what I'm missing.
Listen, CC, listen.
Here's what just listen what I'm missing, CC. If I have my UEFA Pro license, the highest level in UEFA,
yes.
When I go to the US,
yes.
Even if I get a CONCACAF license, I am not doing courses to get it.
Right. Let me explain, CC. CC, a lot of different jurisdictions, once you go there, what they have accreditation entities. They will look at your license, they look at your experience, and they will say, this is what it is equivalent to. So somebody who have a UEFA A license going to the United States, even though they don't have the license that the UFF, the one that you mentioned, even they don't have that one, there is the USSF, the US authorities can say, well, this UEFA A license would be equivalent to what we have, and therefore allow that person to coach. Right. Because why? Because they figure that if you're coming from Europe and you have the highest license there, and they're going to recognize it. Now, if you're coming from Jamaica and you have an A license or a B license, they're going to say, well,
hold on, money. You see that comment? Yeah. You see that comment that they put up? This is the problem. A lot of persons are typing and talking, but then getting. I'm not saying. Look, what I said was.
Giving a trouble because I put it because of the last emoji.
I'm saying that can you with a UEFA Pro license only, not obtaining the USSF license, coach the team?
Yes, CC.
They're not going to allow you to coach the team, man. You have to get the other. I'm not saying that you have to do the courses in the man's man. Just listen to what I'm saying, I'm saying that even though you have the UEFA Pro license, you will be required to pay the fee or do whatever is necessary.
CC, hold on. Let me stop you, CC. So, how then is Paul coming to coach in Jamaica without a CONCACAF A license?
Probably that is how Jamaica's system is. But I'm telling you, it would not happen in the United States, bro.
But CC, what is puzzling you about?
I don't know where you get that information.
What is puzzling you about the idea that all they're going to do is to look to see if your qualifications are equivalent to their standards? That's what they're going to do. They're not going to prohibit you. I mean, yes, you're right. They want to set up a regime where they control who can control, who can coach in their countries, they want to exclude certain people and make sure that it comes up to the qualifications that they deem are necessary to be, employed as a coach. However, right, if somebody's coming across from England or France or whatever, and they have this license, I mean, they believe that that's the mecca of football over there in Europe. They're not gonna deny the person. Are you saying that if that person even get the job, that 2 months down the line they're going to have to apply for that license in order to coach in the US? Because I'm not sure if that's the case at all. They're just going to be recognized as having this UEFA A license and having the experience and knowledge necessary to coach an MLS team.
Go ahead, Ansi.
Let's see if we can break it down with CC, make him understand.
No, you don't have to break it down for me. I'm telling you what it is, Listen, I am telling you what it is,
All right.
I'm not asking a
I'm going to tell you what it is now.
No, Ansi, give him your perspective.
Yeah, I give him what it is. Because CC, you have to be open-minded for learning. You can't just...
I'm going to call somebody in a CC.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you what it is.
All right,
you're going to CC.
CC, I'm going to call somebody with a UEFA B license who is coaching in the United States.
You're going to CC.
This
is what we learn.
We're hearing it now, but unseen talking. We're hearing him.
All right.
This
we have the committee member, them, when they're ready.
You have the committee member. All right, then. All right.
This is what me learn based on, when we did the coaching course. So they said that CONCACAF is responsible for, Mexico, the Caribbean countries, the North American countries, and the Central American countries, right? They get that easy. Understand about it? So,
understand.
So them control, coaching courses and all those something, send down instructors to different countries to make sure that they are, doing those stuff and the coaching courses are going on, and also the persons who are teaching are competent persons who can carry across the knowledge. So you have a man from Trinidad who is a CONCACAF licensed teacher who comes down and teaches Rudolph Speed, Wendell does it, all of them, function so them can carry out the knowledge to us. You understand what I say? To we, the person who want to do the C license and stuff like that. So basically what CONCACAF is doing now is to, controlling all so that their coaching level is the highest one in this region.
All right.
So
Unseen, I think I have somebody online. Make sure I have them online. I have somebody online, right? Who is going to respond to CC. Coach. Well, don't let me just make sure.
This one, make the call, man.
No, man, make the call. Go ahead.
Stop me on the chat, man.
Sound like him hang up.
Stop me on the chat, man.
Sound like him hang up, man.
All right. So this is what we hear now from one of the teachers is that CONCACAF is trying. So when you get your A license, the A license or the pro license. Now, if you want to go coach in the UEFA regions, right? CC?
Yeah.
The CONCACAF have a partnership.
Yeah, man. All right. You're hearing? All right. Yeah. Panel, you hearing me?
Yeah, Freddie, talk to them.
Yeah, man. Coach Freddie.
Hello.
Yeah, man. Coach Freddie, you hearing
Freddie.
me?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
I don't know. What this thing keep doing that to me?
From last night,
last night, man, I tell you.
What go on? Fix up the thing, man. So we can continue.
Continue until we see we can get the call connected.
All right. So
and then Brian can give you the list of names.
What I'm is now. So if, say for example,
Coach ready?
For example, man is.
You hearing? You hearing me? Coach ready? You hearing me? All right. Go and talk and see. Let's sort this out.
For example, man get a pro license, right? And he gets a job over there in the UEFA region. He would have to, CONCACAF would have to have a partnership where, coaches from the CONCACAF regions can go over into UEFA and coach. And that is what they are trying to do now. You understand what I say? That is what they are trying to do now.
Yeah, but as I said
Correction,
before,
correction,
let me tell you what can happen. You
Well,
can
I'm
get the
correction,
job, Mannings, man. You can get the job. Let me tell you how
One
it
of me
goes.
hear correction.
Well enough, you
No,
can get the
hold on,
job.
CC. Hold
However,
on,
Yeah,
hold
man.
on, I have to make my
All right.
point, bro.
You hearing me, Freddie?
You can get the job.
Hello,
However,
hello.
you have to take
You're
the
not hearing me?
course. With,
You
it's
hearing me?
in order to qualify for the course, you'd have coached. You'd
All
have
right,
been
hold on
coached
a
in a
sec. Let me
team
do that we
in
are
the
here in the meantime.
NWSL
Hold on
or
a
the
sec.
MLS.
Hold
And you
on
have
a
to
sec.
take the UEFA, the USSF pro
CC,
license.
CC, you hearing me?
It's a 12-month. Yeah, I'm hearing you. It's a 12-month
All right,
program.
all right. So just listen, because I have Coach Freddie Butler on the line. All right. So CC saying, one of the panelists. So I just going because I know you have to run. So let me just ask you quickly and you respond. He's saying that if you have a UEFA license, you cannot coach with that in the USA.
Unless.
That's not what I said,
true.
you know.
So so you think Gary Neville at Inter Miami, he doesn't have a UEFA license?
No, well, he's saying that even though he's saying that he had to get the American license to coach.
No. They want you to transfer some of these licenses, but that doesn't mean you cannot coach. Because me, myself, I have a UEFA license and I am coaching currently in the US. So most of these international coaches, like, you have
Jurgen Klinsmann.
Gary Neville right now. Neville, yeah.
Klinsmann.
Klinsmann, Gillett coached in Galaxy in the past. A lot of these,
Management, ask him about the Conga Cup license.
United, none of these people have.
No, ask him this question, Mannings. Ask him if
European license.
Ask him if
hold on,
US.
Hold on, Freddie.
Ask him if the US requires the UEFA Pro license holders to do the USSF Pro license as well.
He's asking, do the US ask the UEFA Pro license coaches or BRA license to do the USSF Pro license course?
Sometimes they would want you to transfer your license, but the UEFA license, you can use a UEFA license and coach anywhere in the world. The USSF license you can only use that in America. And if you go to Vietnam or Nicaragua, nobody will look at a United States license compared to a UEFA license. It's just typical of the USA kind of thing, world champions in the baseball or the basketball. So they think that they're it, but nobody would recognize. If you take a United States license and go to Europe right now, nobody will recognize that.
No, nobody won't recognize it. I was just saying
the
that
UEFA license is recognized all over the world.
I was just saying that the USA operates.
That's why the Conga Cup license,
so these guys with these UEFA license coming in here to transfer their license over, but nobody will do that.
All right.
Ask him what this Conga Cup license
is a greater license.
All right. Yeah, man. All right. So, Freddie, we're going to make it because the phone operate under the best way, but we're going to have you come on and talk about this because we also want to know about the CONCACAF. But I'm not sure you know much about it because you don't have a CONCACAF license. You have a UEFA B.
No.
So let me ask you this. Before you started coaching, you had to go through courses or you had to be certified by the USA with some other form of license to coach, or you just use UEFA B?
I just use my UEFA B, I started with the C year, but then I realized that if I have a UEFA license, I have a license that represents me more. So that's the reason why I do my UEFA license.
Okay, and anybody can do UEFA license. Like suppose there's a Jamaican who is a coach, he can just apply to do it, or it's a special people.
Yeah, you have to do, like, they have a level 1, level 2, then a level 3, which qualifies you for. But if we have Jamaicans who have played pro or play with the national team, then they qualify for a UEFA B.
Okay. All right, Sir Freddie.
The average coach, he must do the level 1, level 2, and pass all these courses, and then keep going up the line.
All right, then. All right, Sir Freddie. We're going to talk about this next time. Thanks for helping us out.
Yeah, man, no problem.
All right.
Brian, let's see one correct me upon now.
All right, hold on. No man, Brian, give us, yeah, correct unseen
Hold
and
on.
then give us
So
your team.
unseen.
Mm-hmm.
Them say in order to coach a national team in Jamaica, you need to have a CONCACAF B license minimum or its equivalent. Now, if you have a CONCACAF pro license, now whichever level license, and you're going to a different region, or really and truly them only allow you. It's not necessarily a partnership to say them are going to allow you to come coach in there. It's just that if your license is equivalent to it. So I guess the partnership part only come in because maybe UEFA people they must say, yo, CONCACAF probably they're behind the football. So if you get a CONCACAF A license, it might be equivalent to a UEFA B or a UEFA C. So that's the thing. But as Freddie Butler said, if you get a UEFA license, me not think no CONCACAF country can ever tell you say you can't coach.
So
It's just that probably USA, if you want to coach a USA national team, then I don't know them are probably want to have to them license.
I found a website on Brian that CC is looking at. The website says how to get a coaching license. And
so CC gonna read that.
At the bottom of it, it says pro license course. Following the lead of UEFA, US Soccer adopted a pro license for the top level coaches. It's now a requirement for MLS head coaches that don't qualify for a waiver. So that sentence is very important, CC. It goes on to say, US Soccer requires holders of the UEFA Pro license to take the USSF Pro license as well. To qualify to take the course, a coach must be actively coaching, blah, 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 blah. But where it says that people who don't qualify for the waiver, and if you have a UEFA Pro license, you will probably qualify
for the waiver.
You get it now, CC?
Yeah, man. You get it now, CC?
No, listen, I was trying to say to you that the US, I'm not even have a look on a site to tell the US operates different, and we all know this.
Well,
they have exams that are recognized Europe.
CC no one say, all right.
I'm saying to you that, Ansi, listen what I'm saying. You know, you have an exam called ACCA, which is a recognized chartered accountant exam in the Europe. If you come to the USA, you know you have to do the CPA and get the CPA.
All of them they CC.
No, but they not understand what I'm telling
you. Let him finish Unseen, because
Unseen, what I'm trying to say to you that is the United States modus operandi, as the man said a while ago.
But they have a waiver though. There may be some categories of
what is a waiver? What is a waiver, CC?
Hold on, Unseen. CC, what Nia just really saying, at some level, you get a waiver. Maybe if you do, like Freddie was saying, you do the C. If you do the C or you do the B, maybe you don't qualify for the waiver, right, Neil? So you have to do the course in the US. But you have the pro license. What Neo is saying is that based on that, you get a waiver, CC.
So you don't have to do nothing.
Right.
Yeah, money.
The legal.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, let me get a list now.
All right, go ahead. This is the technical committee.
Yeah.
You sure you can call them name, because Unseen can't call them name, you know?
I don't know why them name can't pronounce.
Brian, do your thing, man. Yeah.
So I think Rudolph, Julian Walker Brown, Denzel Wilkes, Andrew Pierce, Wendell Downswell, Marlon Johnson, and Barry Watson. I don't know who is Marlon Johnson. I don't know who is Denzel Wilkes.
Who is Denzel Wilkes?
I don't know who that person. I don't know Marlon Johnson.
Marlon Jackson or Johnson?
Johnson. I 6 people that I think somebody has missed about. Never.
And Rudolph Speed.
Yeah, but I supposed to be 7 of them.
Denzel Wilkes are the general manager for SDF.
Oh, yeah, it's true, you know. You know, remember when the top of thing, they said the SDF man was in the meeting.
Sports Development Foundation.
Oh. That is a government person. That is a person like who is in there from the Ministry of Sports, really. Like he would be the Ministry of Sports representative. So he would be.
Barry Watson get for the committee. What Barry Watson to get for the committee?
Have you asked the Manchester people them that
involved in a football?
Long time. A year's of service. Me
Who is
know Barry involved in the football thing and a long time still, but I guess Lillian Walker Brown, they understand fair being honest still because she want them to follow the female football program.
yeah. She's the president of St. Catherine FA.
Yeah,
as
man,
well.
she is. Yeah.
All right. Unseen say he has some information on the assistant coach for the Reggae Boys. So go ahead, Unseen, and share the info we have now.
Hopefully you can share it, because you notice you can't share nothing too tough, you know. You're in a secret society.
No,
you don't
man,
want to call me out to me wrong, which me never technically wrong, but I mean, me did probably too technical.
No.
Come on, man.
No, I was too technical, man. You understand what I say? I was too technical. So obviously it passed through Unseen, because I'm a coach.
All right, me wrong,
technical level.
Me wrong, CC. So I'm take the wrong.
Yeah, you know, reach technical level, my boss. You just coach.
Me take the wrong for you.
Stay up in the technical director level.
All right, go ahead, Unseen.
Yeah, go on, Unseen.
I understand still, but say go. I never know people like you still exist. Anyway.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so people, Lee Craftlet, man, you know, it's from Montego Bay. Coach Cornwall College with what's his name again? Dr. Dean Weatherly.
Yeah.
He was one of the, you know, he's a good youth coach, won the primary league down there, won the under 13 league, parish league, under 13, under 15. That team with Jordan Fletcher and Peter Lee Vassell, Jocombo, and those players, he won the under 16 with that team, and you know that team went to win the Dacosta Cup.
And
yeah.
We have all them players in Kudulu.
No, but you have to think about the development of the youth, them.
Oh, he developed them.
I said to you that he won under 14, under 16 with them.
Oh.
So the development, you have to think about that, you know. So
Auntie,
not every coach.
Hold on, Auntie, I'm going to tell you this thing. I understand what you have said. But I know enough coach who with enough league, with enough player who they never develop. Go on.
Yeah, but all right. But based on the interview we have with him and the information we get, it's clear to me that him developed most of them good.
Yeah. I would give him that. He developed a lot of them because he worked with a lot of them from primary school, because he's a teacher as well. He's an educator. So what he would do, and he runs an academy. So a lot of the players at Cornwall College come through like his
academy. Okay.
Right, and his primary school, as well as Milton Griffiths. Both of them do a lot of work with the kids in Montego Bay. But go ahead and see.
He's Cornwall now?
He's not at Cornwall because he's at Mobile United.
Oh, no, man. I don't Mobile, man, but I don't know if I can have two jobs.
Yeah. All right, so he's not at Cornwall.
He played at UE as well. I think he was a part of a successful UE team. And he won the triple at Cornwall College. I think he was on the team he was the captain of the team with Dean Richards, or he was a vice captain, that Cornwall College team.
And that Cornwall College team that he coached with Vassell, Peter Lee Vassell, he won the All Ireland competition too.
All right, so, Brian, the man must say, hold on there. Sorry, Brian, they must say you need to apologize, you know, because Barry Watson is the present president of the Manchester Football Association, and they say that this man is a foundation. Barry Watson.
What a person name? Lenworth Dwayne.
Yeah.
No, me not. This is what Mr. Watson, boss. This is what Mr. Watson.
No, probably because you say this a man of the board from the last time Maradona won the World Cup.
No, I never said that. You said that. No, but I never said that. Yo, but tell about the thing that we say that Jeff said. I never said that. What me I say is, all me ask is, brother, if you man for the technical committee, Lenworth, me ask, I want meriting for the on it. Then you know, for just come tell me why for the on it, brother. That all me ask, you know. Me not say enough for the on it or in for the on it. Me just say,
Brian, you know, apologize for say what you say, brother. If me think say if right now. If you really check your ratio, if the man did there and you look upon it and you look upon the age and the knowledge, yes, experience count, yes, but then you know what sometimes beat us? Some of us stuck in the football one time, you never have red card and you never have yellow card. And you didn't never have really have substitution. So at the end
No,
of the day,
TC. Hold on, brother. Hold on.
me I tell you.
Make the people know say you are saying that in a brother.
Not
The free,
me,
I'm
I
say
say
so. Calm
some
down,
people
calm
stuck
down.
in the
No,
listen,
TC, hold on,
tell
TC, hold on. No, hold on, TC, no, hold on. It's a serious thing and a joke thing. No, because enough time in the panel program I'm watch, and I'm going to say one thing, and then by the time you look at Chinese telephone and pose the different things there. So let me just say what me I said, and then you can say what you are saying. All I'm saying is, me never know say Barry was in for the committee. See? Now, I don't care Barry was the president of what or anything. I'm just saying I want to know what merit him for the committee. No, if Lenward think him for the committee, just come and say, yo, brother, the man do this and him do that and him have the experience here, and him deserve for the committee. We have a problem, Bridget.
Better question though, CC. What better question is, anyone knows what are the criteria for person to qualify for the technical committee?
Yeah. You cannot know.
What
Yeah,
are
man
the
is man.
criteria? What
Yeah,
are
man is man.
hold on.
I am trying to find them as we speak. Continue to talk, man.
Yeah, because hold on.
That's what I'd love to know, like, because maybe they meet the criteria. Maybe there's
no,
a set of criteria.
Yeah. When Mr. Speed did the interview with them, asked him, say, why you for the committee? He say, him have CONCACAF license. He say, him have CONCACAF what? Administrator or something else. And he said some whole other things were qualify him to be. No, if Barry wasn't have the criteria requisite requirements, then he can for the committee, not a problem. Just as I said,
You see though, people always,
brother, leave this man alone, brother. And until they say man drink, he man a drink something them man. But the rum for anonymous.
We don't want
the one the process,
We don't want to quote nobody wrong. It's very important.
Which is very important question to answer going forward. What qualifies persons to sit on these committees? What are the criteria? And what are because you may have a different criteria for committee members than you have for the chairperson or the person who chairs the committee. So what I'd love to know is, what are the criteria? Like, and then I guess the board select the persons, but what criteria does the board use? Because maybe they all qualify, but it would be good if these things are open so people can know here are the qualifications for the technical committee. Because I think FIFA also gave criteria for the persons who are appointed by the federations across CONCACAF for the technical director. And they have to go by those. Does FIFA provide the criteria for the technical committee as well, or that is just for the technical director that they put in the criteria for?
All right, so FIFA don't, so I haven't read all of FIFA's handbooks, so I don't want to say categorically no. But it's my understanding that the technical committee, right, is something that the JFF deals with. FIFA don't have a certain set of criteria. The technical committee would be something that the board of directors and the president, they have a process by which they select those people, and the federation itself would have its own internal criteria. Now, there are no criterias that are set forth in any versions of the bylaws that I've come across. There used to be the old constitution, and there was a version that was created, after that. So what it says is, the technical and development committee shall have the following functions. It primarily analyzes the basic aspects of football training and technical development in football. It shall also be in charge of JFS development programs, devising the proposing appropriate strategies, monitoring these strategies, and analyzing the support and programs provided to the members of the JFF, and providing advice to the board of directors on development matters in general. It shall consist of a chairperson, a deputy chairperson, and 5 members. So that's
how they came up with the 7.
That's how they came up with the 7, right? No, other than that, they don't.
FIFA's committees normally have 7.
So other than that, they don't really have, it's kind of bare bones. They don't really have any criteria. I guess it's.
Let me tell you what would be my.
But didn't they have, because wasn't there something as well that there had to be some female person on it?
Diversity
not that I'm aware of.
The diversity policy. which is why Elaine Walker-Brown was included.
Well, there you go. So you know, I mean, I don't claim
I
to
think
know
there's a
everything.
I think, and even going ahead, I think going ahead, even in the board members and like the federation, which is going to increase, there's a certain amount of females I think must be in it as part of
Yeah.
FIFA diversity policy.
But I think Mannings, based on the technical director's mandate and the fact that they have nutrition and something there, conditioning and those stuff, depending on what the technical committee is responsible for in terms of charting policies for development and those things. I would think that you would have somebody in there with the knowledge of sports medicine and nutrition and those stuff who can write policies surrounding that, right? Who can chart policies surrounding the whole sports medicine and nutrition and conditioning of going forward in terms of what strength training and conditioning and nutrition, diet and sports medicine needed. So I'm thinking that basically, as you said, it depends on what the roles and responsibilities of the committee is. Then you choose persons within that area or spectrum.
So
Where
my,
it comes down,
All right.
where it comes down to me though, is where you have to choose that the technical committee makes a recommendation and the coach. So if that is the next thing, then that's where it falls down in my aspect in terms of that. But I'm saying from a broader perspective, based on certain functionalities of the technical director, I would think the technical committee is basically reporting to the technical director, so they would be the one that he delegates certain functions to. So the
so
expertise
All right,
needed.
let me just say a certain thing. Leonard Dewey, to be fair though, and I hear you. I know Barry Watson. I know Barry Watson is when it comes on to Manchester football, this is the man. So I know that. But to be fair to Brian, he's asking what did he do to be on it? If you're saying because of his because he's a part of the foundation, all right. To be fair to Brian, that cannot be the only criteria. That is why you understand me. It cannot be because there are other people done it. There are other people we could call, who have contributed a whole lot to football in different parishes. But that cannot be the only criteria. To be fair to him, I think that is what he was saying. No, it may come across as being, disrespectful. What did he do to be there? So instead of asking that question of one person, we are trying to figure out what is the criteria for all 7 persons.
can I suggest something?
Go ahead, Neil.
All right. So two things. So based on the list of things that I read from our old bylaw outline that I have, right? The list of
You got the document, Neil? You got the document from today?
No, I didn't get the one from today, but I have
Okay.
an older one that I had.
Okay.
Right. So, but what I was going to say is that based on the things that they're supposed to do, you can kind of infer what the criteria would be, right? Because it says primarily analyze the basic aspects of football training and technical development in football. Now, can a chef do that? Probably not. Can a bus driver do that? Probably not. It says it shall also be in charge of JFS development programs, devising and proposing appropriate strategies. A fireman couldn't do that. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is that even though it does not specifically list out any criteria, you can infer from the list of things that these members are supposed to do that they would have at least the basic qualifications enabling them to do the things that the technical committee.
I'll say something after you.
Hold on, CC, please. So I was going to also go on to say that so this is me just giving a sneak peek of the proposed bylaws that I wrote. And CC, the reason why I said that is because we kind of agree on something here. So listen to this, CC. So I wrote Article 25. The technical director shall be the head of the technical committee. I was told that technically that should not be, but let me just read on anyway. The technical director shall be the head of the technical committee The technical committee shall be responsible for assisting the technical director to implement and devise the technical improvements, coaching education, and grassroots player development goals set by the Federation and FIFA. The technical director shall be responsible for selecting the members of the technical committee, and he shall retain the authority to select members of the committee either from the membership of the Federation or from other independent professionals with the desired football experience, right? So basically, you're saying, CC, that that it would also, based on your understanding and based on the role of the technical director and technical development, that you might want to have other people in there who have different types of experiences that they could bring to the committee. So the one that I read from the old bylaws is very football heavy, but maybe you want somebody in there that is a physiotherapist or a dietitian or somebody who have a different type of experience. I believe could actually be a member of that technical committee, and through that expertise bring fresh ideas to the committee that would be beneficial to the JFF.
All right, CC. Yeah, man. Okay. Very well said, Neo. Well said. CC, let me just chime in. Michael, I bring up this because, man, I have a lot of respect for we have spoken. All right. But this, I will say, as far as I know, this is far from what the FIFA officials are in Jamaica for. And they did not meet with the Minister of Sports. They met with the JFF, and they had something with also the Ministry of Sport. All right. So maybe I have some other information. If you can share that with me, then. But from what I know and what I've read in the newspaper, what I've heard, what I've seen, this is not the purpose of FIFA being here. So if you have other information, you understand me, please send that to us so we can check on it. Yeah. Yeah, so, go ahead. Ansel was going to say something, CC. Go ahead, Ansel.
Go ahead, Ansel.
Yes, and this is my problem with people and all sometimes. Like, for example, you are the best pastor down in Senton, right? Now, CC works with you, and Neo suggests you to come and work at my church, right? Then I say to you, who is this man? And then CC will say, yeah, that's the best passer down at Senton. You have to question that, really. And I'm just asking a question for the person to just explain who is this person, what is his credential. You understand me? But we youngsters always get that beating, and I don't know why. Like, we can't ask questions to know what we are, buying or what we want to represent us.
Listen, all right. My thing about this is that, remember, I think where they're saying that Peart is on the committee, right?
Yes.
And he's the head of the coaching schooling thing.
Yeah.
So you notice the coach education comes on under the technical director's mandate as well. So that is one section of the technical director's mandate where that person is qualified to be part of the technical committee.
What I could also say is, I would say the CC. The truth is, maybe we may not attribute this to the technical committee, but since the pandemic, the amount of academies that have sprung up in Jamaica and working. Now, this is where you have to give some credit to what is happening in Manchester, because somebody said it earlier, a lot of the top youth coaches come from Manchester. And that is because of Miguel Coley, that some of us want to coach a national team, is a product of Barry Watson.
Manchester.
Andrew Peart, who head the coaching school, is a product of Barry Watson.
Principal of the coaching school.
Andrew Edwards is a product of the work that Barry Watson have done. So when you go through some of the names and stuff, Vassy Reynolds is down there now. So you'll see that, like I said, that all I'm saying though is that it would be good if they are general, like Neo said, though he read those things, you can infer from that they are general thing. But I don't think anyone was being disrespectful to the person. No. They just ask a question. And,
right.
So I don't want anybody Yeah.
But that's the problem, man, is man. If your credential are high, but I don't know, and I ask a question, then I'll get some backlash and some disrespect.
Yeah, we just go and make them take what them
Why?
take. But that's why
Why?
I said, you know, the Peart is on the technical committee. We know that Peart heads the coaching school and stuff. So that is one section that says coaching education. That's why I said that one section says physiotherapy, strength and conditioning. One section says nutrition and diet, and it says sports medicine. So I'm wondering if these other sections are covered under
Yeah,
the
man, them
technical
cover,
committee,
them cover,
because
them cover.
these are the aspects of development that is needed in the development of the football for on a long-term period. So I'm just saying if persons with that type of expertise are also a part of the committee, and that there's nothing wrong
You
with
know what, though,
asking that.
CC? What would be good is for the 7 persons, it would be good if we got like these things. Like, so I have what I call a manual. Most things that I do, I have a manual as to how everything operates. It would be good because in the manual you would see the job description of the 7 persons on the committee. That would now outline if all the functions that you outlined are covered. Because it would be good to know what Marlon Johnson's role is on the committee, what the technical committee is, what the technical director role is, separate from the chairman's role, what Elaine Walker Brown role is, what Barry. You understand? It would be good because then you'll measure if the person is being effective. Because if one of these persons, for example, are over the establishment of academies in Jamaica, as an example, I could look at that and say, well, the truth is, in the last 2 years, we have at least 20 academies popping up across Jamaica. So I could use that to say that they are doing a good job.
Like I said,
right?
as I put man in, as I said that, right? If
Yes.
we were to pull up any, I would say that. So we pull up a USFA, I will pull up a English FA or stuff. You would see the different bodies in the federation and the members in the federation in terms of who in an executive are not executive position. And then you will see what the roles and responsibilities of those persons are. I don't think it is wrong for us. To me, it is something that is needed. Remember, just like when they said Neo that they want to exhume transparency and all these things, so you can go on the site and see the audited financial statements and all those things. It is not wrong for the fans to want to see the information of the persons who are in charge of the country's football.
Let me just say this quickly, management. So, CC, while I've been drafting the proposed reform bylaws, I went to a lot of different federations, including the USA Federation, Canadian Federation, some other federations in the Caribbean. And, you said a while ago that if you go and visit those federations, they will list in the videos on what their responsibilities are, etc., etc. And what I will say to you is that's not necessarily the case. Some of these, for instance, USA Federation is huge. You understand? And
No, I was just talking about the main people, like not necessarily the entire organization.
I hear what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say to you is that it is still difficult to discern exactly who does what. Even then, yes, them tell you who the president is and who the vice president is. I mean, we can get that information pretty easily too, right? But in terms of their responsibilities and what they do on a daily basis, it's kind of hard to tell. No, the approach that I take is that one of the reasons to broaden the base of membership in the JFF is to have different, you talk about nutrition, you talk about all of these other things. You have to allow companies, groups, organizations that support football on that level to become members of the JFF, so that they can go into the Congress to vote on issues that come up. But when you broaden the membership to those people, then you can actually select from those people to put them on the various committees and to work in the manner that you described, right? So, I mean, to me, that is the answer. You're not going to find 7 people on the technical committee who are working, in that committee are working with the technical director who fulfill all those roles. It's going to be a group effort. There are different standing committees, there are different select committees, so I mean, it has to be a.
You could have core functions though, Neo. For example, if the technical committee has say 21 responsibilities,
Right.
we say what are the 7 core responsibilities? Because you're gonna have overlap in some of those and that kind of a thing. So what are the core functions? In other words, what are the ones that gonna need specific oversight?
For instance, so I wrote here in drafting this, the technical committee shall recommend and support initiatives in 4 key areas, right? A, player identification, the evaluation of players to determine the most appropriate level of competition, suggest modifications or alternative models to enhance the selection process. B, player development, the evaluation of training programs and playing opportunities from the grassroots to the national team programs. Coaching education, demonstrate leadership in providing coaches with the necessary educational tools to achieve excellence within their chosen level. The development of a national training center, develop operating guidelines for the national training center to enhance the growth and success of the national teams, coaching education and referee programs. And then finally, working with all member organizations to ensure that a broad range of resources is used to elevate all technical aspects of the sport, right? So you don't want to, when I did that, you don't want to be too specific. You still want to, you want to be specific enough to give them direction, but you also want to leave them with some flexibility because the changes might, because the needs might change depending on the circumstances.
Right. So exactly, because if you're building infrastructure and you complete that say in 2 years, the person would not have anything to do. So you want to make it more. That makes sense. But there has to be some of that. And I think it would be good for the JFF to put out these documents so people can see and know. Because again, the transparency is important. And I think one of the unfortunate things
that document though is one that I drafted, so they wouldn't be able to put that one out. So
yeah, man, I know what.
All right, I just want to make sure.
No, man, what I'm talking about is this, because we have a few minutes to go, because I don't want to go beyond 2 hours, and we're at 2 minutes before that, so I'll give each of you like 3 minutes to do your wrap up after that. But what I'll say is that with this, with the football, I think I've lost my
apologies.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But the truth is, I think when it comes down to the technical committee, the more information is shared. I was going to say that one of the problems we have had is Dalton Wind, for example. No, before Speed was coming on social media and talking, every time you heard something from the JFF, it used to be Dalton Wind. I don't know if people remember that. And like every time people used to complain, no matter what he said, it was always not said right or something. And you know what has happened? You really don't hear, people don't realize that you don't hear from Dalton Wind anymore. So it's almost like he has become safe because he's not talking. What has happened though is that Mr. Speed is now speaking. And here's what is going to happen. Like, if we continue down this path, we're going to not hear from the JFF. So we have to ask the tough questions, but still be able to maintain a level of civility that will want the people to come onto the platforms and speak. If all we are presenting is hostility, we only go and sit down and talk to ourselves and speculate. What we want, all of the vloggers, is to be able to have the discussion in such a way that we can get them to come and speak. Because if you're not hearing, you are not going to know a lot of the things.
Man, it's the worst part, I don't disrespect, you know.
Huh?
The one thing I
Disrespect.
can say before we close off is in a mind because
3 minutes, CC,
yeah,
and then yeah.
all I'm saying is this, right? I mean, it is not. Is it to me? In order to get answers, you have to ask the tough questions, and it's always going to be the tough questions, no matter what you might say or not. There are a lot of persons who wants Jamaica football to remain a secret, and for those people, I can tell you it is not the best kept secret because sometimes if it is the best kept secret, it's something that you really want a part of. We are here wanting it not to be a secret so persons can gravitate towards the program, invest in the program, and expand the program and see the program grow. Nobody is putting their money, their effort, and their time into something that they don't know about. They don't have an inclination about. So with all the programs, I think that for the most part, persons are just trying to understand. Some persons might want some persons out because they don't like how things are being run, but for the most part, I think people are trying to understand the whole magnitude and gravitas of Jamaica's football in climate and Jamaica football, how we operate. So for the persons who want to keep this all in the dark and secret, I am a person like this. I will ask certain type of questions. It might be thought provoking. It might be not the question that you want to hear, but I will ask the question nonetheless because I don't think that the football should be something of a secret society or a fraternity or a brotherhood where you have to be initiated in order for you to have a basic understanding. Remember, I will take
30
my money
seconds,
and go
CC.
watch a match. I will support and give my effort. I'm just saying, but that's all I have to say.
No, but you have more seconds, man.
No, I was just saying that as I said, there's a lot of persons. The only thing I can say is that when Jesus Christ himself walked on the earth, a lot of persons remember, when they put up the guy and said, "Free Barabbas," and crucify him. In even the music, they say Easter Lake, crucify this man and free Barabbas, the thief. So at the end of the day, I know that I might say things that persons don't like, and they might say crucify him, not literally, but figuratively speaking. So they might, but I am the person will be the sacrificial lamb
See,
in
I
order to
compare
get
yourself to
the
Jesus
information.
Christ.
All right, they're gone over the 3 minutes now. But one is man, we need to answer the question up quick. Some can answer the question up quick,
Take a 3
and then
minutes to answer what you
I
want to
more ask
answer.
Neil, I more ask Neil a question. So yeah, Peart is the coach, is the principal of the coaching school, and he has a B license, and he only can teach the D license and the C license, but he can't teach the B license until he get the A license. All right, and even though him have those license, him still have to go do the coach the teach program, something like that.
And no,
Checkmate.
and not no. Even if he gets the A license, Jamaica has not yet been passed to teach it,
Right.
so he couldn't teach it here in Jamaica.
All right, next question to Neo. If JFF contact you and say would love your expertise in terms of helping them to understand certain things, and you could help them to reform some of the policies and stuff, would you take the job?
Yeah, man. Look, I mean, 100% I would.
No. You can't ask would you take the job, would you volunteer your time?
I would volunteer my time 100%.
You think it's easy? I tell the man to go to free work and them time the money's on.
Yeah, I
Brother,
mean,
what the JFS gonna say? We don't have any money. All right, Neo, go ahead.
So
You're
you would turn JFF now.
yeah.
You're
So,
talking here every. All right.
yeah,
Go
so,
ahead.
so basically, guys, all right, let me just do this shameless plug really quickly. So I start, I have a little thing now where I'm releasing some videos, right? And in them, I talk about the proposed bylaws that I have drafted. But let me just say this: I plan to come here on Manning's Man show, maybe a few nights on the coach's desk, all of these places to discuss some of these things. But before I do any of that, in the background, I do plan to try and reach out to the GFF to see what sort of reception there would be. To be fair to the JFF, whether or not it is being imposed on them or they're doing it voluntarily, truth is I can't say for sure which way it is. They have undertaken to start, changing their bylaws and broadening the membership in their, in the federation. So I think that's a good thing, and I have to give them props for that. Right now, I think there needs to be more reform. I don't know exactly. Um, I have not seen the completed document that they're going to submit to FIFA, or they're going to submit to the delegates for them to vote on it. But let me just say publicly, I mean, I would definitely have that sort of discussion, because I think, as management said, you have to have dialogue. And if you get to a situation where it is disrespect all the time, then there's just no chance for dialogue, right? So I try to maintain a certain level of respect, and I hope that it is reciprocated. Yeah, but that's my 3 minutes.
All right. Hey, thank you guys. Listen, let me give you mine quick and then we'll close out. Listen, people, here's what I'm saying. You can buy a brand new house. That costs a lot of money. You can start building a house. That takes a lot of time. Sometimes it's better the house that you live in, you build, you add to it, and you build around it. It comes with some inconvenience, but you don't knock down the whole thing. You build and you knock down part. What we have to do, especially on these platforms, I can tell you this: if Captain Burl was alive, a lot of who on these platforms talking couldn't even engage him. You would not. I can tell you that you couldn't pick up your phone and call him, but you want interview or talk to him. When he's ready, he calls you and speak to you. Horace Reed, I tell you no, not even the TV station and the radio station can pick up and call Horace Reed about any interview. Gary McIntosh is the same thing. There are two things with this JFF. They have made themselves open so much and created such familiarity with so many people that some of these things happen. That has worked against them, but what it has done, it has also educated the footballing public. So now we are more abreast with certain operations and stuff, which is good. But at the end of the day, the kind of exposure that is there has caused some of this. All right. What I will say to all of us, persons in comment sections and vloggers and persons who normally be on panel, you have to be wise. You have to be able to negotiate. Right? You can't destroy the relationship that you want to get information from. It is like, the police officer having the witness on the street and don't talk to them at all. They're not going to get information to nail the case. You have to have information. So you have to find a way to ask the tough questions and still respect people. That's all. Because you need to engage them. If we disrespect, we won't be able to engage. And that's all I'll say. But I want people to ask the tough questions. I want to have everybody within the JFF, all the persons on the technical committee, come on, and you can type in your question, or you can call in and ask them a question and let them answer you. And so we have to operate that way. But it was a good program, a lot of helpful information. I mean, near giving the law and the insights, unseen, on the scene,
about question
the breaking news. CC, giving us some CONCACAF thing that we had to go and get verified, but provided some good information on the technical director, roles and responsibility. Appreciate that. Brian Mighton, although his Mullines team lose, he was on it. All the persons in the comment section, really some great comments. But go ahead, Unseen. I know you said you wanted to say something.
I'll ask you a question. I wonder if you could have, differentiate the teaching a coaching unit and coaching a team.
You're gonna ask me to do that right
Yeah.
now?
If you can, quick one.
All right. So
Yeah,
listen.
be coaching now.
All right. So let's look at languages. Maybe if I use an example of languages. All right. I think sometimes to be able to teach someone English, you probably need to yourself be able to speak English. Because if you can't properly execute the English language in written and word form, it's going to be hard for you to teach the person how to write it properly and how to speak it properly. All right? But not everyone who speaks the language properly and writes it properly can coach a person to speak and write it properly. That makes sense?
Yeah, man.
So that I think is how it works with football.
But may I believe some people in the comment section get
Not because you can teach it means that you can now coach people to do it. Because I can teach you to be a teacher, but I may not be. Yeah, I may
good
not
as
be
a
able,
coach.
Yeah, I can teach you to be a coach or a teacher of the thing, but to get you to do it, I can get you the theory, but to get you the practical part becomes a struggle. And I think that's how sometimes in football, like a lot of people, my team has said to me before that they want somebody else to coach the team. Because of my personality sometimes in how I deal with them.
How you do them, man?
Because listen, I can be overly, some people say overly soft because when I come onto football, I'm more relational based. So because of that, a man may do something wrong, I may have mercy on him. And the next man say, listen, if I did me do that, would have gone. So because of that, they said, listen, have somebody else come in and do it. Not because I can't do it, and you do that. But the person knows the game, but he can't get the players to play the game. But if they can teach me, but to get the youths to do it, they struggle. But when you listen to them talk, they could do a good lecture on some of the pillars of football.
The best.
But to get the youths to play one of the pillars is a problem.
So you have to understand that, people.
Yeah.
So Tennessee, Pierre teach me, Speed, Lamar Morgan, Andrew Sewell. A referee was there, I don't remember her name. Referee Easing, that's her name. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah, man. But respect. Listen, the people in the comment section, 1-1, Travis, CC. I'm glad you know I'm cussing. I like when you have very interactive stuff and back and forth. Tennessee, big up. Neil Sovereign, CC, Unseen, Gina Tapper, our taper, Tuffy Rudy, yeah, man, bless up. Lenworth DNA, bless up as well. Steve, big up yourself. Brian Brown, late in the building. Fresh God always. The Formula Sports, thank you for joining in. Dantes. Yeah, man. Who again am I missing? Any name I'm missing out? Tell me some more names. A lot more. Travis and Travis. Two of them, you know. Miss out some.
You can't miss Travis, man. Him claim to say my beat people all the time. So you can't miss. Rena boss, come through in our chat. I have shares in Arena, man.
Eagle Republic said that CC is doing his best at word gymnastics. You understand me? Bless up Eagle Republic. B Douglas.
CC tells him coming like Jesus tonight.
Yeah.
That's new. That's a new one.
Big up Michael Gardner. You saw I responded to your saying, you know, who coached U20 today? I know who will be coaching them tomorrow. That I can tell you. I can tell you that D-Craft,
But I
let
think
man, you'll be
I
there
think
with
one
them
of the
tomorrow.
duties of the technical director is to also supervise the coaches of the various national teams, you know. So I mean, he could say he's been there in the position of a supervise in a supervision type of
Yeah.
capacity. So it's always a lot of things with all those things go. It's just like the statement management when they ask who sits on the bench for our teams. But it's just how we have out here team manager different from and the head coach.
Hey,
So
Neo, hey, listen, I don't know about UCC and Unseen, but I know Neo has a wife and kids in the work. All right, so I don't want his wife and kid to put him in the old doghouse, right? So
I'm already in the doghouse. All right,
you
so
already in there.
Near the dog was well furnished and nice and pretty.
Yeah. All right, all right. But bless up again. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. We'll meet again sometime this week. We have some great interview. Listen, we have a very big one. We have the person who transformed Wales football. He moved them from 117 to 17 in the world.
to
He's
10th
going
Manins at one point in time.
right. He's 100 places. I think in 2010 or I think
2011.
right. He's going to be on with us this week, and he's going to take part of that to teach some things about strikers, how to prepare strikers and things. So that is going to be an interesting one. Chris Roman, bless up as well. So take care, one and all. Have a good night. Please be safe. All right. Respect. Yeah, man. Cranky, hope you get well soon. You understand? We know you have
Get
been
better.
under the weather. Hope you feel better. Yeah, the people them say, who them say Cranky look like? Who they say Cranky look like? Oh, jeez. They said Cranky look like because he had on a mask tonight. They said he looked like the leader. Yeah,
in common and coaches this.
yeah, he was on it. Yeah, man.
It's just like Coach Vingley.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was Coach Vinblaine, not the leader. Coach Vinblaine. Yeah, Vinblaine. Yeah, they said he looked like Vinblaine. Kevin Williams, big up as well. All right, we're gone, people. So take care until next time. I'm Manning's man. This is I Am Sure Sports. I had with me Javon from Unseen Sports. Check out his channel. Check out CC Sports Lab, and also Neo's Laws and Insight. That's his channel. Listen, people, you have to go on better. I subscribe. Hope you subscribe. He said today that he has 5 subscribers. That is criminal.
Yeah, so just
Notice the word you use. That is criminal, and he's doing law.
One last something I want to say. All right, I operate an academy. I call it Future Academy over in Golden Spring area there. So persons who would like to help out in equipment and stuff, or just donate. They can link Manning's man. They can link me on Unseen Sports TV and Instagram, and you just get the thing up and running.
So people, this is the one putting in the work.
Yeah. El Futuro, the future
Stars.
football in
Stars.
Golden Spring. If you want to build that golden talent, visit Javon Parchment in Golden Spring. Golden Spring,
Near seems you have 7
where you will learn
now.
football not just for this century, but for the century to come. You will be able to use your left foot and your right foot, your head top and your head back. Visit El Futuro Football Academy.
You might have to drop it in the chat now.
876-123-4567.
People want to link me on Instagram.
Yo, watch about dog. SK New heard this. The body out there. Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say, when you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Orchard Race, Galtigo Bay. Everywhere. I Am Sure Sports. Check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like, yeah. Someone on for the food from we young, from we day, you knee height. I am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.
Ain't cut off. Hold on,